Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you guys to another Monday. It is Monday. So guess what time it is? Voices from behind the walls of TDCJ. And you get opportunity to talk to hear some of these amazing inmates that are making a difference and doing some things to try to change some the way that some things are happening within the judicial system, and changing the way that we look at the prison system. So today I have back with me Ayala. If you would please, for those that may not know who you are, if you would introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, good morning, Angela, to the listeners. My name is Ayala, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I've been incarcerated for almost 25 years. 21 of those years of which have been on this unit, and I have witnessed a lot of change, dramatic change in the environment here and the culture. And there's more of a willingness to, on both sides of the cell, to an openness to positive change. And it was hard coming, right? I've been involved in these types of activities, positive activities for many years. I've been trying to institute some programs since I got here in the system, and it was met with a lot of resistance from the administration. I've had to go through the process of filing two restraining orders on the wardens behind the harassment that they were giving me at the time. But now things have changed, right? Things have changed, and there's hope not only for us as inmates, but also for our families and our communities. Because as we take hold of these opportunities to better ourselves, we become the man that our families need and society demands. And that's a long-term objective of these efforts that we have behind these walls. As I've mentioned before, if you want to find something negative about the prison system, it's like shooting ducks, shooting fish in a barrel. You're gonna hit something. There's always any sort of negative aspect of the prison that we can talk about. But there's also a lot of good that's happening behind here, and there's a lot of love. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of faith that we don't really, we're not able to share with the outside world. And that's why I'm so thankful for you and this opportunity to share this with the world as you have given us this platform. And it's just that there's so much, right? You could take one life and how it's been transformed, and you can sit here and you can write a book, and just imagine an army of these guys preparing ourselves for the world, and those who are not, those who are here with the life sentence without parole. I work with many of them, and they now have a sense of hope and something positive to latch onto, and they can develop within themselves so that their life every day can have new purpose and meaning. As a peer educator, I'm able to walk around the whole unit and interact with a whole lot of different people on different custody levels, from SAG to closed custody to medium custody to protective custody to regular male custody. I deal with guys who have 4-year sentences to guys who have life without parole, and each one is it's a very unique interaction. I could talk to a guy for the last 4 years. job easier. To develop himself and to train himself and to prepare the work ethic that it needs to go out there and be successful at it. And then you have guys that are here without, with a lot more parole, and they're like, I'm not going out there to work. That's what am I going to do here? So every conversation is a different conversation. And that's those opportunities for these guys are what's important. Right? And again, the culture has changed from the way it used to be before. It used to be where the majority of people, they go to the chapel, they get a chapel class because the culture looked at it as you were hiding behind the Bible. But now it's different. Now it's promoted amongst every group to go out there and forge their relationship with God, to go out there and become a better person, develop the skills that they need to go out and succeed. This penitentiary isn't talking about anything. It's just fun. This unit itself doesn't have any type of education outside of GED. There's no trade vocations. There's nothing here outside of chapel classes. Also, chapel has a lot of classes. And if you're educated, we're able to move around and establish classes inside the living areas, and that's made a difference because now we're meeting them where they're at, and they're able to become a light within that darkness of the living area, and it attracts others into that light. So the culture within the housing areas are beginning to change, and I think this is a long-term solution to a long-term problem. Right? I recently created I'm an idea guy. I have a ton of ideas, and I develop many curriculums and programs and services on this unit. And so this past week, I put together a proposal called the Mutual Accountability Pact Zone, which is MAPS for short, right? And it follows the model that we established on closed custody, where it's a whole section, and that includes 24 cells, 48 inmates, and they participate in this program that we established over there through peer education. And the major Guardiola, she crunched the numbers, and she basically said that since the program has been over there has been a reduction in violence, a reduction in major disciplinary, a reduction in use of force, and a reduction in major disruptions. So it shows that it can work. And one of the key elements to how it does work is called mutual accountability, where the guys hold each other accountable. And we all are there to progress. We're all there to instill a sense of self-development. And if they're not there for that, then we make it very clear. There's enough room on other sections you can go to if you want to be a clerk. We're here to try to help you. So if you want to be helped, if you want to develop, you can stay. But if you don't, do not, then you will leave. So that type of accountability holds them in place to a degree. Right? I mean, they're still penitentiary, they're still prison, they're still post-custody, they still get to roll up the way they do. But at the same time, there's a rope that they can start climbing, and it's a journey, and they work very hard. So we've taken that odd concept and put it into something where we can look at a long-term solution to the problems and the crisis that the system is experiencing right now. They say that they're short of staff. They have drugs. We're about down behind 16 homicides, drug-related homicides, and a lot of contraband. And they're not more responsible for the system is to lock us down because that's all they know. Lock it down and try to clean it up. But we get locked down once or twice a year anyway, and it never really stopped anything from happening. So there has to be a better solution to that. And that solution, I believe, is working with the hearts and minds of the inmates and giving them hope, a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, and where they can be an example to others and create a new type of culture that can focus on the positive instead of the negative. I talked to a lot of these guys, and I asked them, "Hey, why are you smoking this stuff? It's poison, straight poison. There's smoking paper, laced with whatever. I mean, it could be rat poison, it could be roach spray, it could be who knows what." And the majority of the time, I'm bored. I just have nothing to do over here. So let's give them something to do. The best thing for them to do is to focus on themselves. We can use this time in the penitentiary for anything. We can use it to destroy ourselves, or we can use it to uplift ourselves. We can use it as a personal university. We can use it as a seminary. We can use it as a training ground. We can use it for a whole lot of different things. But these options have to be put out there and supported. And that's where this MAPS comes in. And there is another program that's run by the chaplaincy called faith-based dorms, which is the same concept of one section, 24 cells, 40 participants. The difference between the faith-based dorms and the MAPS is that the MAPS is consistent. It doesn't have a start date or an end date. It has a start date, but there's no end, because if we do our job right, the idea is to create a learning culture of, okay, you discover who you are, and we give you the tools you need to learn and develop that person. Well, that should never end. And the conversations that I've had with the administration, at that time it was Warden Davis and Major Guardiola. The question was, do you want a rotating system, or do you want a expandable system? The rotating is like you have a year start date, and it ends in a year's end date. An expandable system where it goes from, we can start with 1 year start, and the following year we can expand to another section. And people who are in the first section remain there until, they leave, or they decide that they've had enough. But the culture remains, right? And it slowly expands to other areas within the unit. So I think that would help alleviate the staff shortages, the use of drugs, the violence, drug-related violence, because now we're all on where everybody participating is on the same journey to develop themselves. And we're holding each other accountable to a level of, okay, if you're going to participate, it's going to be 100%. If you choose not to, if you still choose to dabble in this, well, then you'll get removed. So that's one of the things that I've been working on. And I've been hoping. I've been sending letters to a bunch of friends and volunteers, and hoping that the proposal can get sent to senators and representatives and the TDCJ administration, so that they can start looking at what's going on over here and start setting up a model that can be duplicated in other units. I'll go on and on if you let me, but is there anything you want to ask regarding this idea?
No, I just
or this process?
I'm just thankful that you guys are doing what you're doing, because as I have been researching and doing some research, I see that there's certain facilities that have some programs. They have programs to keep their inmates active and involved. I'm sitting here thinking about this lockdown that y'all are currently on, and how it's about contrabands and things of that nature. Well, I'm thinking that they need to start with the actual people that work there and the contractors, because how is the contraband getting in there? Because it's not like y'all are getting to go out and go to the store and getting to go do these things. So somebody outside of the inmates are bringing these things in, and for them to constantly put y'all on lockdown, and for y'all to have to endure the things that y'all are enduring during this lockdown, because I've heard of some of the meals that's being served. Let alone I've seen some of the pictures of the meals that are being served to grown men, and it's just disheartening to me that you know I get it. You know, a lot of people make mistakes, and a lot of people that have made mistakes, they did not get caught. Heaven forbid, if all of us that have made mistakes in life have been caught, this world would be nothing but prisons. But the fact that the ones that did get caught, that does not make them lesser than a person because they got caught. Now you think about the ones that didn't get caught. I think about the food that they're serving. I think about, just how y'all don't have heat and air, and it just disheartening. And the fact that I hear people talking about how they sit stuff down, ants take it over, roaches take it over. Like, that's just no way for a human being to live, especially with all the money that the prison system is making. That they're making money from our tax dollars, and then they're making money from government grants, and then they're making money from all these different contractors and these different vendors that they're charging y'all an arm and a leg for their services. Like, I just don't get it. And then the fact that, the legislators and the people that have the power to put into action, or even to, make sure that the laws that they do have in place are being followed, because a lot of these people are incarcerated right now because of the people not following the laws and taking advantage of what they want to take advantage of. And it's just disheartening. People get in power and they do what they want to do, and they don't think about, what's going to happen when, these people do get parole, because, everybody not going to even if they made a bad mistake, they don't stay in that state forever. People do have remorse, and people do change. So what are you doing to help these people change? What are you doing? Like, for the likes of me, I don't see. I see the life coaching programs, but what are you doing on a professional level to make sure that these individuals are equipped, not just physically equipped where they can come out and work a job, but what are you doing to make sure that these people are emotionally, mentally stable, that they're able to, to stay inactive with the outside world? Like, to me, I feel like they do so much to keep you guys from interacting with the outside world. Like, it could be so much more that they're doing. Like, if they had better procedures in place, and if they treated their people with respect, if they treat their workers anything like they treat the inmates, then that's why they're always hollering they're understaffed, and they're not staffed. Because if you're treating your workers, right, they're gonna want to come to work. They're gonna be passionate about what they're doing. And if you're giving them something that they can come to work and be passionate about, they're gonna come to work and they're gonna go above and beyond. Because if I got a reason to come to work, if I know that I'm going today and I'm gonna be hosting a class or I'm going to be doing a workshop, if I'm going to be doing something that's going to help these guys get out of prison, then I'm more than likely going to be happy about going to my job. But if I'm just going to work and I know I'm going to just be sitting there in the hot, sweltering heat, and I'm not doing nothing but locking doors and moving people around, then who wants to go do that? Like you gotta have some type of incentives for individuals to want to give 110%. Like you just can't expect people to want to come to a job and do something when there's nothing to do. Like, what are you giving your workers to do? Are you giving them something that they can interact with the inmates and be positive with the inmates? Because if they're worried about security and worried about, people respect people that respect them and that have their best interests at heart. Now, if inmates know that they can work towards coming home, then guess what? They're going to work towards coming home. They're not going to be in there causing conflict and causing different things. But you got to give them a reason to want to do the things that they're doing. You know?
Yeah. And that's why I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing out there. Because when it comes to stuff like that, we're pretty limited to what we can do. And it does get pretty rough. It has been pretty rough because of the food and the heat. And it's a lockup, right? And there's better days than others. The thing is, what can we do? What can we do to help each other cope and help each other overcome the circumstances? Because at the end of the day, TDC might be able to dictate the environment, but the culture in our lives depends on how we respond to that environment. So we can create a positive environment, we can create a negative environment. Whatever they produce. Because right now, especially on the issue, it's bare bones. It's just a frame, right? And there's other units that have more going on because they have industry. They're by a major city, and they have more staff. Here we're in the middle of nowhere, so it's hard to get people here. The education program that we had is not. We lack it because not because of the lack of money. It was a lack of teachers. The teachers didn't want to drive over here. Every day. And so they had the money for the positions. They just couldn't keep up with it. So what are we doing between, right? While you guys are looking out there, pounding the pavements and making the phone calls and going to the rallies and having these meetings with the people that's in charge, what do we do on a day-to-day basis so that we can make it worth it, right? So that we go out there and we can, if the opportunities do come to get out there, so we can be successful rather than soaking in the misery, soaking in the negative, and going out there and expecting that instead of the spirit of confidence or the spirit of overcoming. So those are the things that we have to focus on a day-to-day basis. From the morning we wake up to the moment goes sleep. And while you guys are taking care of the big picture, we're taking care of the details. And because when it comes to the drugs and stuff like that, it's not, the one question is how. The other question is why is it coming in? Why is there a market, right? So what can we do to help reduce that market so that it reduces the need and it reduces the flow? And I strongly believe that they reduce the market for drugs by giving people a sense of purpose and meaning. Once they have a sense of purpose and meaning, and they have hope, behavior, that were heavy into drugs, that were heavy into all the negative elements of this place. And now they're hopeful. Now they're like, they want to learn, and they want to develop themselves, and they're preparing themselves 100% for the world. So we need, like for example, the second that I hang up, I need to work on developing myself. I need to promote and encourage others to develop themselves. You guys out there, you walk and pound the pavement and do the things you need to do. But it's our responsibility to better ourselves, and that's what we try to promote here. You need to take charge of your life. If you don't, and I tell you guys all the time, if you don't control your life, somebody's going to control it for you. If you do not control your life, somebody's going to control it for you. And we're here, and we're told when to eat, when to sleep, when to use the restroom, when to be behind the door, when to our days are managed, controlled, because we failed to control our own lives. And we have to instill a sense of self-control. And so what you guys do out there can be rewarded by what we do when we go out there. Right? And I firmly agree with tackling everything that's wrong with us. I agree with that 100%. And there's another side behind those walls, and we need to look at that. We need to really create the environment and the conditions so we can embrace the positive within ourselves and create an environment, create a new environment that promotes positive change. And that's basically what the mission of TDCJ is. Right? It's supposed to promote positive change.
You have 1 minute left.
Rehabilitate us and integrate us to society. So that's the idea. But thank you for your help, Ms. Angela. Thank you to listeners for whatever effort that you all provide, help us with. We're doing our part to try to make it worth it and try to be the man that you all need us to be. And congratulations on your graduation this past week.
Thank you.
Great achievement. And,
Thank you.
I hope to see you soon.
Yes. Thank you. I want to thank you for stopping by. And for all those that are tuned in, listening, please share this in your circle of influence. We're trying to get the message out and trying to shed light on situations that are taking place inside the TDCJ so that we can see what we can do on the outside to help them with a better life so that they are able to, when they're able
Thank
to
you for
come
using
on
security.
the outside,
Goodbye.
they're able to be productive citizens. So please continue to share this in your circle. Share this in your circle.